Alright, this video is for adding and subtracting mixed numbers and improper fractions, which has definitely been a little bit of a struggle in class, so this video should help with that. Alright, so I'm just going to do the adding and subtracting of the improper fractions because that is by far the easiest thing that we do in this video. So all you have to do is just either add the numerators or subtract the numerators and just be done with it. You can actually leave these as improper fractions. That is totally fine because it's the way it's presented is the way that you can leave it. So if I have 13 eighths plus 5 eighths, you just add the tops, add the numerators. 13 plus 5 is 18, so my answer is 18 eighths. If I subtract, obviously you just take away, so 13 minus 5, the numerators, you get 8 eighths. You can leave it like that, or if the kids know by now that that equals 1 whole. Once again, please notice that the denominators stay the same. Always, 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 until later notice. Alright, so here's where it gets a little bit tricky is when we have to add mixed numbers. So the way that I told the kids is really you can just add your whole numbers and then add your fractions. So here, if I just do the 10 wholes plus the 3 wholes, I get 13 wholes. And then if I do 3 fifths plus 4 fifths, that would give me 7 fifths. Now right away, the warning bell should be going off. That does not look right. You cannot leave a mixed number with an improper fraction. You cannot do that. So you have to change the mixed number. You have to change the improper fraction and make it into, well, add on and make it into a mixed number. So one way that I think about that, and one way I told the kids is, okay, so we have 13 wholes, and then what is 7 fifths? What does that really equal? So if I can take out 1 whole from that, 5 can go into 7, obviously, 1 whole time, so that's 1 whole down here. I take that 5 fifths out of there, and I'm left with the 2 fifths here. So what I'm doing is taking that 1 whole and adding it to the wholes. So 13 wholes plus 1 more whole is now 14 wholes, and I have 2 fifths left over. So my new mixed number is 14 and 2 fifths. The biggest problem is kids are leaving it like this right now. They're leaving it with a whole number and an improper fraction. That is a big no, no, no. Can't do that. So now, subtracting mixed numbers is a huge, huge headache. This is by far the most difficult thing we're doing this entire chapter, and this just takes practice, practice, practice. But if you really think about what's going on, and if they truly understand fractions and what fractions are, this really isn't that bad. So let's take a peek at what to do. There are 2 options. This first one I call option A is to convert. So the first thing you can do is actually take your mixed number and convert it or change it over to an improper fraction. And I did that for 5 and 2 fifths and 3 and 4 fifths. So 5 and 2 fifths, obviously when we convert that over, if we check out the previous video I just sent you, it's 5 times 5 is 25 plus 2 is 27. So I converted that over, and that's how I got this number right here. Then I did 3 and 4 fifths and changed that. So 3 times 5 is 15 plus 4 is 19. And I get 19 fifths. Now off to the side I do a little scratch subtraction problem. I have 27 pieces and I'm taking away 19 pieces and I'm left with 8 pieces. Once again, the denominator stays the same. So my new fraction is 8 fifths. Once again, warning bell should be going off. That is an improper fraction. You cannot leave it like that. You do have to change it back to a mixed number. So what I just would ask the kids is, okay, well, how many times will 5 go into 8? And they know that it'll do it 1 whole time, and then there would be 3 pieces left over. So most kids in the room would know that that is 1 and 3 fifths. But if they're struggling with that, I would encourage them to visualize and take out a whole. So if I know that 5 fifths is equal to a whole, and then I know that 5 pieces plus 3 pieces would give me my 8. So I have 1 whole and 3 fifths, or 1 and 3 fifths. Now option B is to borrow. This is the strategy that some kids picked up on right away and other kids don't want anything to do with because they're just not visualizing, they're just not really understanding. But here's what I know. I know that the denominator of my fraction is going to tell me how many pieces make up a whole. Okay, so in this situation of 5 2/5, I know that every single whole is 5/5 or has 5/5 because of that denominator of 5. Okay, so what I can actually do is borrow one whole from the 5. Okay, so imagine having 5 whole boxes of pizza, and I'm taking one box away. That's why I still have 4 here. Okay, so 4 holes left, but I'm going to take that box, and I'm actually going to split it up into pieces. Well, in that whole box of pizza, I'm getting 5 slices. Okay, 5/5, which you can see there in the yellow. And so you already had 2/5. So what you can do is take 5/5 plus the 2/5, and you get 7/5. So 4 7/5 is the same thing as 5 2/5. It's just written differently. Now that you have 4 7/5, the numerator is now greater than what you're subtracting, the 3 4/5, and now I can just subtract like normal. 4 minus 3 wholes would be 1 whole. 7/5 minus 4/5 would be, oh, I made a mistake, sorry about that, would be 3/5. So this answer would be 1 3/5. Alright, so then option A, let's just give it a practice. So this is converting. So once again, we take our whole number and multiply by the denominator. So 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 19 thirds. And 2 2/3 would convert over to 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, 8 thirds. And I subtract. So you just take your numerators and subtract. We have 19 minus 8, and that would give me 11. So my answer is 11 thirds. I can't leave it like that. I do have to convert over. So 11 thirds, what I would do is ask myself how many times will 3 go into 11, or you can divide. So 11 divided by 3. I know that 3 can go into an 11 3 whole times, which is 9. Subtract, I get a remainder of 2. And just like last video, what this really means is that I have 3 wholes and 2/3. So 3 2/3. Alright, option B is to borrow. Once again, I'm going to borrow from the whole, and I'm going to get 5 wholes left. Each whole, now because the denominator is 3, is going to be 3/3. So I'm adding on 3 pieces to the one I already had, and that's going to give me 4/3. And I just can leave the bottom alone. That just stays the same. I don't have to borrow or do anything weird down here. Okay, and now I just subtract. And I can do this like normal now because my top numerator and my top is bigger than the numerator and what I'm subtracting. So this is good to go. 5 minus 2 is 3, and 4/3 minus 2/3 is 2/3. And that is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. And I know this was a little bit longer video, but if your kids are getting stuck on this, I would definitely throw them a couple problems after dinner sometime and just see how they're doing on it. Talk to them about which option they like to do, which one feels more comfortable, and why. The more they talk about it, the better off they're going to be. This is definitely going to be an issue on the test. I can tell it already. So the more practice they get, the better off they're going to be.